Great day, beautiful people. How's everyone doing? I'm making this video because I got a request. I think her name is Linda. Miss Linda requested more of a video about veterans and being retired veterans being involved in the targeting gang stalking program, and I wanted to respond to her request. Miss Linda, I live in a military town. I also ride share on a army base here locally, and though I'm not an expert, I haven't did any extensive studying. I'm pretty sure that I will do more studying and tag you in some videos where they talk more about that. But all of my videos are from my experience here living in a military town here in Georgia. Um, Throughout history, the military have been involved in several social experiments on people here in the United States. So don't be surprised. You can also do your own research. Now, my stalking experience has been more about monitoring me wherever I go. I've had some experience out of other than that I have shared on my platform. Um was it last year where I had dead animals were being left in front of my yard. But I ride share on the military base, and it's hard to explain, but like when I'm on the base, it's cars that are sitting on the side of the road that when I pass, then they get behind me. And it's like that throughout the city. I'm constantly monitored by you have to think when you think of gang stalking, you got to think this is not average people. These are people that don't work, so they but have the money and the time to spend their day monitoring people. Now, like I said, I am not a um expert. All of my videos about my experiences and what I've been through with this situation, I have been completely isolated and constantly monitored. I'm not on drugs. I smoked weed for many of years, and I've no longer do that for extensive time now. I I'm a social drinker. I may sometimes go and get, I don't drink hard liquor, but I will go to the Mexican restaurant and have a little margarita or a frozen drink. But that is the extent, and that's maybe once every few months because I had issues with my stomach when I was in my 20s, so I was never a big drinker. So I've never did cocaine or any other substance such as hard drugs or anything. I've only smoked marijuana and had a drink from now and then. Because I say that because when I hear people, they associate gang stalking with paranoia, and they also associate it with people who do hard drugs. So that's why I want to clear this up. I am not a drug addict, never been a drug addict. Even when I smoked marijuana, it wasn't all day I'm sitting around smoking. It was more of a meditation for me between work at the end of the night when I get off to relax my mind because due to the situation, I did have anxiety for a while. But I practice I listen to different frequencies now, meditation and prayer, that's really helped me to um to relieve my anxiety. I'm not saying I'm perfect, that I'm always like on top of it, but I would say a strong 90% of the time, because I've been dealing with this so long. When I first recognized what was going on, it was maybe 2012, when I was like, yeah, something going on. When I really started paying attention to it, when I was living in Orlando, Florida. And then it's like once I became aware, and it does follow you. I first became aware in Orlando, Florida. Then I moved to, it followed me. I lived in Albany, Georgia. I lived several years in Tallahassee, Florida. Tallahassee was the worst. It was worse. That's when I had people would pull up on the side of me and cuss me out. Uh, I was constantly threatened. And I don't know if it's gotten less or I'm just adjusted more to it. I really got to the point where I learned to not engage and really to ignore and to take certain practices. Like I'm approached. I still get approached by people. Just 2 weeks ago, I was at a Chinese restaurant. My daughter was home for the holidays, just to give you an example. And excuse me, that's my dog. I my daughter knows of my experiences. So, excuse me, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry about that. I had to let my dog out. Um, my trigger colors have always been red, white, red and white. Like I get followed a lot, where it's just, if you pay attention, it's all like always. You can tell it. I seen another video where a lady spoke on it too. Like if I'm getting followed by, surrounded by white cars, they'll all have on red shirts. When I'm approached, I don't know. I posted some videos where the girl explained why they use certain colors, and they want you to know. But anyway, I was in the restaurant. We were ordering our food to go, and an older lady came in the restaurant. And me and my daughter and her boyfriend was just talking about the situation, right? So here's this black older black lady came in. She had a red shirt, and she came and sat right by me. And she listened to the conversation, and then she just butted in. She was like, "Oh, where are you guys from? Because I'm from New York." So we kind of just looked at each other because I was just talking about it. Then she went to touch me, to the point where I had turned around. I would say, "Please don't touch me." She was saying something with my shirt. And I was telling you, these are things, when I work retail, they'll keep walking by you. Like I worked the floor in retail. They want to be seen. They want you to know. Then it got to a point where people would follow me and clear their throat. It was like every half an hour, here's somebody they come by me. And I know y'all might think these are simple things but anybody who's been gaining stock knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not just like a coincidence. This is constantly happening. This is like, it's not just like every blue moon. These are things that happen to you every day. They want you to know. And it's the same thing when you're being followed. You'll constantly get cut off. You'll constantly get boxed in. So it's not like, oh, I know it's a lot of white and red cars, y'all. But they make it clear. If I can't explain this, I have to Y'all have to ride. Maybe I get a camera or something where I can show y'all what y'all talking. Well, you're completely surrounded and almost boxed in everywhere you go. And so, like, same thing on the military base. It was like, okay, because to the point I don't react to it anymore. I'm just aware of it. So I have trained myself to really not get. It's like kind of the norm for me now, if that makes sense. Like, let's say if I pick up somebody to take them to one side of the base to the other side of the base, as soon as I pull out, here's a white car that pulls off. That they actually sit at the light, or they'll sit off on the side of the road. When I pass by, they'll get behind me. Then when I'm coming to the next crossroad, here's another white vehicle that turns in front of me. So like I said, they love that box in thing. Then so you got somebody in front of you and somebody behind you. Then you get to the next way. And this is not, if you pay attention to what's going on, it's not happening to you. It doesn't happen to like the regular people. This is something, if you're being gang stalked, this is constantly everywhere you going. Like, so it's gonna be noticed after a while. You're like, this is not a coincidence, something going on. And like on the military base, we used to have to get a pass. You have to go to the visitor center to get a pass. Every time I went to get my pass, because they'll give you a 7-day pass, the kiosk wouldn't work for me. So I always had to work up. I would have to sit there 10 minutes while you watch other people coming out. It's little things like that. It's really to aggravate you. You got to mean the whole thing of the plan, the whole thing of the thing is to agitate you, to keep you under constant irritation, fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was, to keep you irritated. So you really got to train yourself to be calm in the midst of all that. That's how I feel like I've overcame it, because you just got to get to a point. It is what it is. I don't live my life where I'm doing anything wrong. Like I said, I'm not conning. Yeah, you're going to be going from, sometimes you'll lose your job because they will target you on your job. I go to it on my new job. I lost my job back in April. And look, I go to work every day, but it's always somebody sent to agitate you. And this is going to follow you. This ain't just like um it follow you from state to state, from job to job. That's why a lot of targeted people don't, they end up trying to find a job from home, or just, work like me, working to the job until something happen and move on to the next job. But it's follow you, because ultimately they don't want you to be able to survive. They don't want you to be able to take care of yourself. Why does it happen? I don't know. I feel like when I think about the stuff that happened to me when I was younger, like, I've been poisoned. I don't have stuff put in my phone. I don't been held up at restaurants, different types of things. So that's why when I first started posting about it, I said, and to this day I still don't know if it's a spiritual warfare. Because to me, that's what I just refuse to believe. Like, they really got money to just pick certain people and just their whole life follow them. So I associate it with spirits. It's always spiritual warfare, and I believe in spirits and demons and stuff like that. And so many people practice witchcraft, and I mean high and low places, the government down to people at the church. Trust me, I could not believe this because I was brought up in the church, and as much as they spoke against witchcraft, but then I realized people are doing witchcraft in the church, and it be people you least expected. The sweetest old lady, such everybody, like cousins on your job, um, Like a lot of people is into doing witchcraft, and it's so sad that you don't have to be a person like do anything to people for this to happen to you. You just be a regular person. Now, since I've been studying on this, I really think like something happened to me as a child, and I've always had just bad experiences. Um, Never was loved in a relationship. To this day, I've been single. Um, Never had a man to love me. Not my children's father, not my ex-husband, not my father. Like I just told you, I lost my father in June. I found out about it in October. His family, we wasn't, you know, we was what they call exchanged, we had an exchange relationship, but I don't know if something happened to me young when it first started happening. I was political in my 20s. Like I would write papers up. I was very active. I protested. Um I was very much involved with human rights. I would speak against the police because when I lived in when I was on public housing, I actually witnessed a police plant drugs on a young man. So I became very political. I did poetry and just spoke against, you know, societal systems and how we poison the food is poison, how education is not educational. So I thought that maybe that was the reason why I began to be targeted. But when I think back of even when I was in school, the further I look back, I was like, dang man, this been happening to me longer than I realized. I just didn't know what happened, and I was so young and trying to fight and make something of myself. I didn't really realize what's going on. And I think when I moved to Orlando is really when I started paying attention to it. And um like one time we was coming from the beach. We had rolled down to Daytona, and on our way back, it was a somebody because as though they like to hide behind tinted windows, but this guy's like real fancy red car, and the whole way from Daytona back to Orlando, which is probably like 45-minute ride, he would get in front of me and slow down. Then when I get from behind him, like it was like egging me on. He'd slow down, speed up, slow down, constantly targeted. And then one day I was taking my daughter to school, and this man followed me taking my daughter to school. Then when I got back home, I was sitting outside, and he actually drove by the house, then stopped and asked me if so and so lived there, and I was like, no. Then 2 days later, he followed me again and actually came back to the house where I stayed strapped, but I was still married then, where my ex-husband really just chased them down the street. But I started like what is going on? That's when I became aware. Now I really didn't start looking into it until I got to Tallahassee. Like I would go to the gym, and somebody in front of me would come with red and white, and just you know how I be alone. All the treadmills empty, and then somebody come right next to you, and then somebody come like same box in type thing. And this is not stuff that happened, like I said, when you know you're being targeted. This is every day, wherever you go. Every day. It's the same thing every day, like assimilation, like Groundhog's Day. And it's supposed to, I put, like I said, make you fearful for your life, constantly being monitored. You don't know what you're doing, subtle things like, man, I don't had my tire busted so many times. Man, I just had to get a tire 2 weeks ago. Like, it's a constant, like, stuff that happened to people every now and then gonna happen to you all the time. Like, I don't know if I'm being blocked from a relationship where or what, but every time I meet somebody, they will pursue me. Say I give them my number, then it's like we'll go hang out one time, have a good time, and then I get ghosts. It's like somebody following me, telling them don't mess with her or whatnot. It's hard to believe these things, but it has happened so much to me. It's the norm, and I know I don't think I'm a beautiful type woman or whatnot, but I know I'm not a bad looking person where I should have problems finding somebody. But it is true. I get ghost on the regular. And then if somebody do stay, it's always a manipulation. Like they're sending somebody like a handler type thing. You know, they're off bed. Like I met this dude when I was ride sharing. He was military and his mom was like a mason for 20 something years. I already know. Here we go. And that's what type. I get approached a lot of times from Masonic groups and stuff. And I did, yeah, I told you I did videos about being stalked by Masons, but they find me when I was at retail, when I was selling my candles out to the flea market. They find me when I was I a lot while I would do vending events, selling my candles and my wax melts. But they always find me every job. So I'm on this new job now I've been on. And one of the ladies that when I find out they're part of that group, I promise you guys, I just really block them. I'm not a confrontational person and I will feel like I'm not explaining nothing to nobody. I'm just gonna get from around them. Period. But the coincidence is this, right? So one of the ladies that were two Eastern Stars that when I found out, they never told me, right? They posted some online and I found out. I didn't argue, I didn't confront them. And keep in mind, I would post videos about being targeted by Eastern Stars, Masons, and different people. And again, a lot of the military people, the retired military people, um, I don't hang around a lot of Caucasian people, but I know they will put people to monitor you that look like you. I'm not saying I've never been monitored or nothing happened with Caucasian people, but they gonna monitor you with people that look like you. And a lot of times here, since I've been here, it's older military veterans. And a lot of them be Masonic. People don't realize how, and I get all the time people comment and saying, oh, um people said, like one Mason said, I was shunned. Why would I be shunned? I never been a part of y'all group. Before this stuff started happening, I never, even though I have Masonic family, my father, um my grandmother's brother, like I have my ex-husband's sister. I mean, I've always, my oldest daughter, his mom, I knew them people since I was 16 years old. I was in my late 30s when she invited me to join the society. Well, she said if I ever wanted to be. So I've been constantly monitored by these people my whole life, and that's what and it's not good. That's why I can speak on when I tell, and I'm not trying to be offended. I mean, be offensive to Masonic people, and I often say on my videos, no, I don't believe all of them are bad. I think some people get in a situation they say each level you are exposed to different stuff. So some people may be involved, but good people and don't know what's going on. But I feel like you should know the wholeness of whatever you associate yourself with. And no, I don't believe that all people are bad, but I believe it's a significant number of them that are doing wickedness and that are involved in social experiments. Even our government. Look how much of our government are in some occult societies. Skull and Bones, Boule, it's a number of them that not even named, Like, I didn't even know anything about Boule until I moved to Tallahassee and got around the college kids and the college professors, and I was introduced to this stuff. And then I've always been ambitious. Like when I was young, I wanted to start an organization, and it was called Black Essence No One Man Movement, where I really studied like all of the movements from Black Panthers to Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, where everything was surrounded around one person or a few people. So they would target those few people and able to bring the organization down. So I had did this whole paper about Black Essence, no one man movement, where everything were evolved around boards. So we're all representation of the organization. So it's building like a chain that can't be broken. But it wasn't about an uprise. It was about improvement of minority um, neighborhoods where we can improve ourselves, or board for agriculture, education, um, finance, different things where people will volunteer their time to find boards in order to improve our way of life. Because a lot of people were walking around, really, they were just stupid and ignorant and being manipulated by television and music. So I felt like if I came from the hood, don't get me wrong, welfare, WIC, all that stuff, and but I always felt like if I had a chance to educate myself, um, when I first met my father, I was 5, and he came to see me because he didn't believe I was his child, but he was the district manager for FedEx. They came in suits. I'll never forget it. He came in a suit and tie. I mean, not suit, like a suit. And his wife, they were dressed up very casual. I mean, business like. And his wife took notes the whole time, the first visit. I'm 5, but that made an impression on me where from 5, I always wanted to be successful. I all wanted to be business like, be a successful businesswoman. So I felt like if we were more educated and we were more exposed to different things, where we actually had people that could show us something different, that would change a lot of people in my community, in the hood, in the projects. Just being exposed to people who are different. That was just a dream I had when I was young. But like I said, getting back to what I said, it's all types of people that are involved in this project. It is not just me on here. I'm just a little nobody. It is literally hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are coming out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, talking about being targeted individuals. And there are people of all color, all statuses, all everywhere, all over this world. It is videos about other people that have did major research and did videos on their experience and how the military is involved. So I don't want to make light of it. I would just want to tell people, if you feel like you're being targeted, involved, do your research. That's how I found out what was going on with me. I started literally going on Google and putting was this happening to anybody? And then I started going to YouTube, and that's where I found like my community, and like it was not just me. And it is different forms of it. It is people who said they hear voices, they feel like stuff are being targeted to them. People say they've been hit with radiation and different energy weapons, and they can show you marks and stuff. I know when I was younger, I used to go to sleep, and I've had sleep um paralysis. I think that's the word. And that was when I was real young. But I've had where I woke up with marks and stuff on me. But this was when I was younger. Like literally bruises on me. I wake up out my sleep. And one time I was dating this dude, and he's like in my sleep, like I woke up like I was fighting, but I was asleep. But when I grew up, they just called that, spiritual warfare. You be battling spirits and demons in your sleep. But I always had a sense for things too. I always knew things, just knew stuff. Like I used to scare my ex-husband because I just know stuff. I didn't um think it was like psychic things. I didn't like have. I did have dreams. Like I used to have dreams, not all the time. So I don't want to say it's. Some people say it's a gift or whatnot, but I would have a premonition in my dreams. But one thing I know, my children mean like your intuition. I just know something. I like a sense, a sixth sense of things. But anyway, I just be trying to think what made me, why this would happen to me. And like I said, I know that my father was involved because this is something he told me himself, that he was involved with. That he knew what Mason, he knew about Boule. He said he was in a Mason, and then when he found out what was going on, he said he got out of it. For what I know, how you don't get out of it. But hey, I can only go by what he was told to me, and I try to be honest. I don't want nobody to think I'm making up anything, so I try to be honest. I'm not trying. I am being honest uh, to my experience. What I feel from what I experienced with him and his family, and from when I was younger, like I said, I believe something was done to me when I was a child. I mean, a baby. And I can only pray to the Most High and I ask for things to be revealed to me. But Miss Linda, like I said, if you feel like you're being targeted, the first thing is take care of yourself. Do your research and really see what's going on with you. Now, are there people who have mental illnesses? Yes. Are there people that own drugs and deal with being paranoid and have things going on in their mind? Yes. But it is all so people like me, we just regular people where this stuff is happening to us. Like I said, I'm not on drugs. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just a regular person. All my life, I've tried to be good, be in, live in right, have morals about myself and integrity. Have I lied? Yes. But am I a liar? No. If that makes sense. Like, I don't just live my life. I'm going to be honest. Like, I live for the truth. 99% of the time, I'm going to tell the truth. But have I lied? Yes. Have I told people I'm gonna come somewhere knowing I ain't going nowhere? Yes, I have. So I want to be just straight honest with y'all. But I'm telling you, I've been sexually assaulted more than once. Like I don't have anything to hide from anybody. I'm 50 years old, you know. I don't have no reason to hide, but I don't have nobody. I'm not close to my mom. I'm not close to my family because of the treatment, how I've been treated. I had one friend and she passed away that I can honestly say she would, I could go to her house at 2 o'clock in the morning. She gonna get up, open the door. In my 50 years of living, one, I know for a fact that nobody has ever loved me when it comes to men. No, I've always just been used and tossed away. And I don't want to talk bad about um let that make me a victim, right? Because when I seen the pattern, I just like I haven't dated, you know. I don't close myself off to love, but I do what's best for me and I put myself first now, if that makes sense. I try to take care of myself. I'm overweight. I've been struggling with my weight my whole life, but I do work out. Like I tell people, if you feel like you've been targeted health, then you fight against it by, I take sour sap, black seed oil. I do different herbal remedies. Um, I have been out where people say if you're targeted by energy equipment, you get the heart palpitations and all that. So I do what I take beetroot, hawthorn berry, bullock root. I just try to take things and do things to build my body to be strong. Um, it may not if you look at me, you might not look at me and think, but yeah, I lift weights. I can show y'all I got a weight bench in there and weights, and I get on my little elliptical, and I just do my best to to build my body up as a defense to everything I go through. And I play sports. I played basketball, volleyball, softball. I threw shot put and discus when I was all this stuff when I was younger, and it followed me as you get older. Older, it just once you been active all your life, it kind of follow you all your life. So I'm not no weak person, and so I also on my video I was always built to be a warrior type person, like I hate to say it, but like if anybody, I don't ask why me, cause why not me? I was almost like trained for this. I've been my mom moved away from her family when I was 5. So I always been, and I'm the only girl. So I spent time alone. So me being ostracized or isolated, it is a strength to me. I don't like being around a lot of people, and I'm an introvert anyway. So that don't hurt me. What hurt me is not having nobody. And not that it don't hurt me, it just bother me sometimes. Cause trust me, I enjoy my own company. It bothers me that it's 8 billion people in this world and I can't find nobody that love me. And I don't even know if I ever felt love because my parents didn't love me. My mama beat on me until I was grown and out of her house. Beat me, mistreated me. My daddy told me to his face that I wasn't his. And so until we got that blood test and stuff like that, even after that, I was just like the little ghetto trash secret up until I was grown, till we started talking. I never was embraced like I was his child. And you know how people, yes, he did stuff for me. You know how people do just enough stuff to say, well, I did this for you, but never really show you genuine love. That's how it was. My mom act like she hated me until I just got didn't show when when I graduated from college. My mom didn't even come because she said she ain't had nobody to watch her dogs, and I literally was living 2 hours from her, where she could have came to my graduation and went back home. Didn't come to the hospital when I had my baby girl, and she was literally like 20 minutes from the hospital. She moved away from her family when I was 5. And then we used to go down on the weekend. I was sexually assaulted. And I told you how my father feel about me. They never really embraced he felt like I was the little ghetto trash. They treated people in the church better than they treated me. It was never genuine love. And I used to say even a dog know when they being mistreated. So now that I've withdrawn and said, no, I just rather be alone. I, I let the process happen. They don't want you to be with nobody. I embraced it. I had to embrace this lifestyle in order to survive it. And that's what I tell everybody. Yes, it get hard. Yet I won't lie and tell you it ain't. I've woken out of my sleep crying. But I still get up. I put on my little eyeliner, my lipstick. I have locks. I make sure I look like something every day when I leave out of here. And that's my rebellion. That's my warrior spirit. You know, I walk with my head held up. I don't go to work saying, "Oh, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victor." I speak good stuff over my life as much as I can, in spite of. I can't tell y'all for sure